Good morning, everybody. We are doing the guided lesson for Tuesday's language warm-up. So number 1 says complete the sentence using the correct verb. So this is subject-verb agreement, making sure they make sense together. So the subject of this sentence is Madagascar. That's what the sentence is about, a country. You've got to figure out which verb makes sense with the subject Madagascar. So I have had, have, or has. Madagascar blank more lemurs than anywhere else in the world. So we read it first with a blank. Now I want you to read it and put each choice in there and figure out which choice makes sense. Now the second box says label all the parts of speech in the sentence. And I already have our little symbols for the parts of speech written over here. So the sentence says Madagascar is a large island near Africa. So you'll write an N for nouns, people, places, things, animals, and ideas. V for verbs, action verbs, things you do, and linking verbs, verbs that connect parts of the sentence. Pronouns, which remember are words that replace nouns. So instead of saying names, you can say he, she, it, they, them, just to name a few examples. Then you'll find adjectives. Remember, those are words that describe nouns. They can tell you what kind, how many, what color, what it looks like, smells like, tastes like, feels like, sounds like, anything like that. And then you'll look for adverbs. Remember, adverbs are words that describe verbs. They can tell you how often, when, or where. So each time you find all of these, make sure you check them off to make sure you find everything. Okay, next box. Add an apostrophe to correct the sentence. So remember, we use an apostrophe to show that somebody owns something or to show that something belongs to someone or something. So the sentence says all of Madagascar's animals are interesting. So first you need to figure out which word shows you who or what owns something. Then you need to figure out where you should put your apostrophe. Remember, if it's singular, you'll use an apostrophe and then the S. If it's plural, then you'll put the apostrophe at the end if it ends with an S. Okay? Next, we're going back to our word box from yesterday. So you'll use these words that we talked about yesterday, and you're going to write down the words with a prefix that means not. So remember, there are several prefixes that mean not. One of those prefixes would be un. Un can mean not. M can mean not. In can mean not. And ill can mean not. So I jotted those down over here. Un, in, and ill. All of those prefixes mean not. So see if you can find words with those prefixes and write those words on the lines. Now, from those words that you just wrote down, which one means not nice, not kind, or nice? Write that one down. Next box was the skill we've been working on for the past 2 weeks, simple, compound, and complex sentences. So remember, if it's simple, it's one complete sentence, one independent clause. If it's compound, it's 2 sentences put together. So 2 independent clauses joined together with a conjunction, a fanboy, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. And if it's complex, it has one part that's independent and makes sense on its own, and it has one part that is dependent. It does not make sense on its own. It needs more information. So this sentence says, the tomato frog makes a sticky liquid that can make animals ill. So look for a comma or a fanboy. If you find those, look on both sides, and then decide which one of these you think it is. Simple, compound, or complex. Now, last week we learned about a new root. So we learned that words that have M-O-T, M-O-B, or M-O-V all have to do with movement. So which one of these words means moving someone to want to do something? Would that be motivate, motion, or mobilize? If you try to move them to get them to do something or to want to do something, what would that be? Your teachers have to do this to you sometimes. And then last, add a comma to the address below. So we have someone's address right here, their location, 1873 Wilson Street, Savannah, Georgia, 31401. So remember, the comma goes in between the city and the state. So I'm going to let you try to figure out which word is the city and which one is the state and put the comma in between. When you're finished, you can watch the check video to see how you did.